This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello, welcome to the latest edition of your official Billingham Stars podcast. This is STARCAST from a Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars. Very pleased to be here in this strange time between Christmas and New Year. We've got Carol. I'm getting better at this. First time. Carol and Jono here with us. Hello to you both. How's things going in your households this festive period, Carol?
Yeah.
It's been good. I've got lots of fab new gifts, but I'm actually full of cold all weekend, so I seem to be not been particularly well. I don't think I'm going to be the only person who says that either. So the bugs have been flying around Bilog for sure, and I didn't escape. But
this is very true.
I managed to drown it in plenty of alcohol.
Excellent. And Jono, yourself?
Yeah, it's been a great break so far. Plenty of chocolate, booze, and loads of Junior World Championships on the TV to get my fingers into. So,
yeah. This podcast is brought to you by my Galaxy selection box. Thank you. Yes, as Carol said, I missed the weekend on injured reserve with a stomach bug, and even going to Whitley wouldn't have killed that one, I don't think so. Took the weekend on the sidelines, but we're back to full strength now. And as a podcast, we don't shirk the big issue. So, question we'll answer this edition: what day is it? When did the bins come? And what bin is it? They're the three questions we're going to answer today. We'll get to the bottom of it by the end of the show. But yes, we have our cup weekend to talk about, ish, and a double header at home to look forward to start the new year. First footing on Saturday and Sunday, and we'll have a quick look back at 2025 as well, which on the whole kind of wasn't a bad one for your Billingham Stars. But we'll start at the weekend just gone. Obviously no league action for your Stars, but we did have the return of the Christmas Cup. Last year, obviously Whitley were in the North Division with us, and it was league and cup points up for grabs this year as they plough their SNL furrow further north than Tyneside. It's a cup competition only. As I say, I wasn't there in person, so relying on second-hand information. So, Carol, do you want to kick us off? We'll talk about the weekend as a whole, good and bad. Obviously, for those who don't know, Stars won the first game at 4-3 in Billingham, and Whitley won the second game by a few on Sunday, and they took the cup on Sunday night. So overall, one game each, and your thoughts, Carol, please.
5 periods, thumbs up. 1 period, let's just ignore the fact that even happened, shall we? Yeah, I mean, there's positives and negatives you can take out of the weekend. I'm sure, given our injury list at the minute, we could have maybe said might have been better off resting some weary bones over the weekend. But from a fan point of view, you know, having a cup competition with your local rivals in that weird time in between Christmas and New Year, it makes absolute sense. Especially when we've not seen them at all, apart from a few pre-season friendlies. And again, from a positive point of view, the numbers that have turned out to both games just shows that the appetite is massively there for this particular local rivalry to continue, despite the fact that we're now in different divisions. So great crowds at both games, noisy, passionate, everything you want to see from a local derby. On the ice, for 5 periods, you say, okay, the Stars have battled through injury and all the rest of it, and we're managing to just keep their noses in front. Some highlights in there. We've got to give a massive shout out to Joe Walls and his Gordie Howe hat trick. Way great stuff from Joe. But that last period, it's going to be quite difficult to talk about it because not entirely sure what happened. I think we said on the pod last week that because there's nothing really up for grabs here other than bragging rights, it would really be down to who wants it more. Mm-hmm. Maybe Whitley just really, really wanted it more in that final period. Obviously, we are carrying an awful lot of knocks at the minute, travelling short benched again, missing our regular netminders again. So there's going to be an element of running out of steam there. But it was, if you're a Stars fan, it was an exceptionally frustrating watch, that final period. Yeah. And I'm sure there will be a post-mortem when the guys get back together to discuss the ins and outs. And Mikey said before on this podcast that, everybody in the room takes responsibility for themselves. And I'm sure that will be happening. But I think losing that final period in that manner to your local rivals is going to sting, and I might just leave it there.
Yeah. Jono, 3-0 up on Saturday, 2-0 up on Sunday, and as Carol says, it's just a case of kind of running out of steam, and Whitley got the jump on that third period, and once they started rolling, we just didn't have anything left to answer with.
Yeah, it's been a strange one all weekend. I mean, like you said there, we went 3-0 up. I mean, I don't think we took a 3-0 lead easier than we had all season in that first 10 minutes on Saturday. It was just an ease. It was a walk in the park. And I was looking around and you just think, oh, this could be absolutely horrific if this continues like this. And then for whatever reason, whether I know they took a time out, whether that made a change, whether the lads thought, you know what, let's just ease up and we can rest the bodies a bit here and we don't need to go at 100 mile an hour. And we slowly just let them back in. And it kind of happened again on the Sunday. We knew what was going to happen from the first drop of the puck. They're going to come at us hard. We've seen that out. We got ourselves 2-0 up. 2 fantastic goals, by the way, in Whitley Bay, especially the power play goal. That was an absolute thing of beauty. And then we could just kind of, I won't say we just kind of fell away. A horrific penalty was given for one, which got the Warriors back into it. And then they just kind of fed off that momentum and kept themselves going. I think the crowd probably did them wonders on Sunday and really got behind their team and took them to the end, just like ours did on Saturday as well. Our crowd was utterly unbelievable on Saturday, and I was actually quite shocked to see how many of us turned up on the Sunday as well. So unbelievable turnout from the fans. Just couldn't get the job done in that final period. Then, as Carol says, there might be just a post-mortem on that final period. A few things that we could have changed or could have done just to slow their momentum. But I think a special mention goes out to Jack as well. I think Jack had a great game on Sunday, and we kind of hung him out to dry in that third period. Yeah.
And you talk about the positives first. You talk about the crowd. Obviously, wasn't there on Saturday, but was it the usual? Obviously, standing room at the end down on Billingham on Saturday.
Yeah. It was fantastic. It was great to see every seat taken. I believe Tees Active were in Christmas spirits as well on the day and did let a fair few stand along the bottom as well. So, but absolutely fantastic to see. And I'll say now, if that's the kind of crowds we get for the rest of this season, I think the boys will be entertaining you far more than you can imagine for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah. And Sunday, Carl, a couple of photos I saw I think it was on the Warrior Socials, put a photo from the back of the corner of the rink. Is the fullest you've seen Hillheads for a while?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking it's more the regulars at Hillheads probably haven't seen it that full for a while because obviously with the forum it's a little bit more difficult because we get any sort of good game and we get close to full because we just don't have the capacity that the Warriors do. But I just got the feeling that the regulars at the Warriors probably haven't seen that size of crowd for a while either, and they really fed off it. It was from their point of view, that's exactly what they needed. And if things go well for them in the SNL, they might just look back on this weekend as the boost that they needed. I mean, I know the point situation at the minute isn't looking that favourable for them, but you just never know. Edinburgh Capitals did trip up a bit at the weekend, so it might be that they end up looking back at this weekend and going, yeah, that was the boost that we needed. The crowd were thoroughly entertained. They got their wee Stanley Cup moment at the end there. Everything that they probably hoped would happen happened for them on Sunday. And it goes back to what I said at the start. It just shows that the appetite for a Northeast derby is still very much there. And you don't get any better feeling than getting one over your local rivals, do you?
Yeah, and possibly the crowd, because it was only this one time obviously at the pre-season, but we weren't playing 2, 4, 6 times during the year, so that's possibly why the crowds were a bit special. Obviously, it was Christmas, it was the cup games, what have you. But the fans did make an effort, so obviously it helps, and we'll see what happens come next year as to what's happening with where teams are playing. But it was certainly good off the ice that way. Again, looking on socials, the mascots as well seem to work well together on both places, and Billy was conducting the crowd and in Hillheads as well. Carol?
Yeah, he was. I think the pair of them had a great time. I did look downstairs at one point on the Saturday and saw them still throwing the shapes downstairs and thinking, where on earth are they getting this amount of energy from? Because that's all they did for the whole game. And I couldn't, because of the layout at Hillheads, I didn't see quite so much of them on Sunday because they're in different parts of the rink. But I'm quite sure they just did the same on Sunday. So Billy and Whitley probably got the steps in quite heavily over this weekend. And the photos, if people have had a chance to see them, they're just magical, just engaging with the fans. And I think both clubs have done a great job with those mascots. I think at this point we should also give a massive shout out to Whitley's new cheerleaders, who were...
That looked amazing, by the way.
Honestly superb. Do you know what? When they said, oh, we've got cheerleaders, you get that kind of... I do anyway, because I'm not a massive fan of the standard cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I kind of had that little sinking feeling. But when they brought this team of cheerleaders out, and the routine that they did was absolutely phenomenal. And all power to you guys. That was great. Keep that one up, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth saying as well, it's just a big well done to the mascots as well, because it just brings that animosity down that's been there between the clubs over the years. So it brings that friendship. It makes traveling to each other's rinks that little bit easier. You're not going to be intimidated or feel unwelcome. And just a huge pat on the back to both mascots for just bringing that animosity down and making it just a real fun, lively experience over the weekend, because that's how it was seen from myself anyway. I don't know if anything else has gone on. I've not heard anything, so touch wood, I don't hear anything. But yeah, an absolute fantastic weekend behaviour-wise, and I think the mascots have got a big part to play in that, and the way that they've introduced a friendly atmosphere.
Yeah, because it always used to be the derby games. Yes, it's your rival. Yes, it's the biggest game of the season that weekend, but once the buzzer went, you went to the pub or you went to the whatever, and you had arms around each other talking about the game, and there was that friendship and kind of a friendly rivalry, which, like I say, Jono, over the last few years has maybe turned a bit nasty in certain places. So if that's what's going to happen, then all power to the teams and the off ice and the mascots and everybody for making it that way. So I think we'll just leave it. We don't need to talk about the result anymore. I think we'll just leave it all with all the good stuff.
Well, I mean, the
But
best way around it up is they won one, we won one. We didn't lose any points, and we didn't win any points. So there we go.
Everybody kind of seemed to come through unscathed. I know Mark didn't play Sunday, but possibly more precaution than anything. So we'll see what. But generally, there's no more bumps and bruises, and we'll see who takes the ice this weekend. So yeah, well done to Whitley. Enjoy your cup. Best luck for the rest of the season. And we'll see you sometime soon. Who knows? Anything else on the weekend? Anything else on Christmas, Boxing Day? Before we head on to other things.
No, I think I'll just say on the other side of it as well. It's probably good to have had those lads on the ice actually yesterday, the 2 previous days. Just obviously with no training, we've not had training for since the 21st-ish of December now. So we've got 2 big league games coming up. So yeah, I know everyone's not been a big fan of the games in between Christmas. I know a lot of them have been big fans of it, but on the side of just having the lads on the ice, I think that will take a little bit away that we've not managed to have a training session. So yeah, just having them on the ice and just having those reputations going and having the legs moving, hopefully they'll do us good stead going into the league campaign starting in 2026. Nice
one to finish. What we'll do is before we take a break, what we'll do is we'll have a quick talk about 2025 as a whole. Then we'll take a break and start talking about the weekend ahead, which is, as Jono says, first weekend of the new year as a home doubleheader. Important league points back up for grabs. So 2025, Carol, as I said at the top, it wasn't all bad, was it? If you look at as a whole and the success that Stars had early part of 2025.
It doesn't matter whether you've been a fan forever or relatively recent to the sport. 2025 was about as good as it gets. It's certainly the best season I've ever seen, and I'm not even going to tell you how long I've been watching this lot.
About 60 years.
Thanks, Jono. I love you too. No, it's the superlatives are there to be had. I mean, just an amazing year, absolutely amazing. If we ever better it, then wow, that would be something. I'm not sure we ever will, but that was 2025 all the way up to April was the stuff of fantasy, really. Absolute, just everything you could have wished for. All encapsulated by that one moment right at the end with Rowley's overtime winner and the outpouring of emotion and the sheer disbelief, I think, on the look of some of the guys' faces at what we achieved. What can you say? It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic, best ever. I've never seen anything like it. If I ever do again, I will be a very, very lucky fan.
And for the record, nothing else happened that season after Rowley's goal.
No, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, Jono, 2025 for you?
Yeah, just basically repeating what Carol said. As a fan, I mean, the year before we won the league, and that was just great to get a league title again. But the way the lads approached that season, to say we're gonna turn it to do it all again, but this time we're gonna take more trophies with us. You'd have just been happy with another league title, or maybe a league title and a cup, or a league title and a playoff. But to go and win all 4 trophies, and as in dominant fashion as we did as well, we went into Blackburn and we laid it back down on them like they did the year before, and effectively won the cup in Blackburn, which was nice and sweet, and that'll never be taken away from us. The league was over well before it was over, to be honest, only losing 3 games all season in the playoffs. And to be fair, Blackburn didn't really lay a glove on us in the playoff final either. So to win that morally grand slam with the ease that we did was just an absolute hell of a showing from the lads, and a great bunch of good local lads with 1 or 2 extras, as in the imports. And then the battle that we had with Slough, I'd never give us a chance, to be honest, against Slough, knowing how good they are and the talent that they have there. But we just played our game and we stuck it out, we grinded it out the way we did, and then I suppose as soon as Rowley hit that blue line, I think we should have all just been, yep, this is our moment. But even then, we still didn't believe it. But I still watch the video now and just look at the limbs that go in the air, and just unbelievable. And if we ever get anywhere near close to that, we're going to have fantastic times again. And I fully believe we will. The talent's coming through. There is more to come, and I think some clubs in our league will probably just put their head in the hands, going, "How are they doing it? Where's it coming from?" Because what we get from our academy, other clubs are paying 300-400 quid a week for, 500 quid in some cases. So yeah, I mean, trophy wise, sensational. Talent wise, coming through again, sensational. So all in all, 2025 will be remembered for a long time.
Yeah, and not just the on ice stuff as well, but obviously it was kind of the perfect storm, wasn't it? You had your goalies had career years. I mean, Mark Turnbull never lost a game ever.
Yeah, and I mean, the story with Mark as well, and everyone will look back that he wasn't just chucked in against Sheffield. He wasn't just chucked in against Nottingham, the poor teams. We got to remember Jacob went down with an injury just before Christmas, and then we had to go to D-side on the road. And it's not easy going to D-side, and he won us that game. Mark won us that game in D-side, and I think it's probably one of the games, as fans, you probably don't even think, but probably people like ourselves who look into the details of the game, we look back at that game, even the Nottingham game when they were all ill, and Tommy Spraggan gets us the game winner and win the game 2-1. Those fine details are just crazy. But yeah, Mark played some big games and won us those big games.
Yeah. So yeah, your goalies had career years. Yeah, the defense as a core. Like I say, Tommy, we did our job with Tommy. We developed him. He started playing with Hull that year, but then obviously he left the end of that season and went on, and now is doing his thing in the national division, because that's what development clubs do. And then the forwards, obviously led by Mr. Brown, who just couldn't stop scoring goals. I think he scored in every game up until that flu game. I think it was the first game he didn't score that season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously that line, the top line, scoring 1 million points, but every line was contributing night after night. And then off the ice as well, the fans were still, even this season, when we're not firing as well on the result front, we're still getting fans who haven't been to Billingham Stars before. We're still finding new people. We're still bringing in new people to watch our game, to watch our club, to watch our team. And that, a lot of that started with the success of last year. I think off the ice as well, getting sponsors who kind of came in last year and have come back this year. So it kind of revitalized. Or revitalized is a bit of a strong word, but like the whole club had a boost right from top to bottom. And yes, the results on maybe following this year, but as Jono says, we're filling again. Tommy's gone and Conor McNulty's gone back to SNL, but we're filling again from the bottom. And we're already seeing with Matty P and Will Thornton, they've both scored their first senior points with us. And as Jono says, there's more to come from where they came from. So I think 2025 was good, but it's certainly not the end, and it's possibly not even the end of the beginning. It's just another step along the road for the Billingham Stars. I got a bit woof, didn't it? I don't know where that came from.
It's
I'm not even from Billingham. It's like
it just shows you what this team can do for you, though. Everyone does care, no matter what the situation. Like, I think people were getting a little frustrated that we weren't hitting last season's highs, but that is so difficult to do at this level of sport. Professional clubs can't do that. So to expect lads who work Monday to Friday to go and repeat those sort of levels is absolutely nigh on impossible. We're asking lads to put the bodies on the line like we would never expect. It's not like you're pulling up on a park field on a Sunday morning and playing a bit of football with jumpers for goalposts. These lads are putting big risks out on the ice every time. Even just in training, anything can go wrong. You're playing on sharp blades, pucks flying around at 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour at times. Anything can go wrong at any given time. And to ask the lads to do and be at that level that it took to win last year, being an amateur, not getting an absolute dime in the back pocket for it, is a lot to ask. So it shows you what this club means to the players as well when they are doing that. And they know that they're not at last year's standard. But in my honest opinion, I still think they're bloody knackered from last year, if I'm completely honest. the efforts that last season took, that will look. Let's look at the professional game. Look at Florida this year. They're absolutely goosed from the Stanley Cup runs that they've had. It takes its toll on the body, and it will take a bit of time for the bodies to naturally rest. And it will come. It may be next season we hit the ground running again, and you just never know. It might be the back end of the season where the lads feel, we're ready to go again. Let's kick on. Let's go and take that playoff title back. So anything, there's still a lot to play for this year. There really is, and I just hope the fans get in there with the numbers and back on like they did this past weekend, because I think we're going to be in one for a hell of a ride for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. Anything there to add to finish off, Carol?
No,
fan me and Jono down because we're.
No, I think it just shows the passion that we've all got for our club and our team, and how much we care about it. How much effort that the whole team on and off the ice puts in was fully rewarded in 2025. And I said it at the end of last season, but I'll say it again. I think thank you to everybody that was involved in delivering it, because like Jono said, it's so hard to repeat something like that, and it might be a while before we get anywhere near that. So thank you to everybody. Yeah,
fantastic. We'll take a break. I'm away for a quick lie down and a wet flannel, I think. We'll be back in a moment. We'll talk about the first games of 2026, and we start with a home double header. So there's plenty still to talk about. This is your official podcast with Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. This is STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to this edition of STARCAST. We're into the games of 2026, 3rd and 4th of January. We have our first footers coming into the Forum Ice Arena back to 5:30 as the usual face-off times. On Saturday, it is the Hull Jets making a return to the Forum, and then on Sunday, the Leeds Knights. Carol, do you want to take us first? The Hull Jets. Obviously, we've had a couple of games down there, back to back with them earlier in the season. Quite a nice little rivalry developing with the Hull Jets this year.
I'm not sure I'd say nice little rivalry.
It's Christmas. I'm being nice.
Yeah, some of it's been not very nice at all. But then again, when you look at the flip side of that, is sometimes that little bit of needle can add something, a little bit of edge to games. Yeah, I mean, with the absence of Whitley, you're kind of looking at Leeds and Hull and Sheffield as our local derbies, which is a bit weird. But yeah, the rivalry with Hull has been interesting. Shall we say interesting? There's been contentious issues in the games. There's been plenty of talking points. I expect absolutely no different on Saturday, to be fair. Hull have had a really strange old season. They've had big highs and big lows. It's quite difficult to fathom out where they are, if that makes sense. So they had some absolutely fantastic results, and then you look at the weekend that they played last, because obviously nobody played last weekend except Blackburn's Sheffield. So you're looking at the weekend before that, and 2 losses for Hull that probably hurt quite a bit. So their form's a bit all over the place, a little bit difficult to gauge where they are. But I still expect I expect a barn burner, actually. I think this could be a really, really good game. Like I say, that little bit of needle just might add a few extra dimensions to the game. We shall see. But I'm expecting a battle on Saturday.
Yeah. I think the big question, Jono, is who's lining up for the Stars. Obviously, we'll do a roll call of injuries and bumps and bruises and see who's available. And that'll be the first big question is who's going to line up in a Stars jersey on Saturday.
Absolutely. I have no qualms if we're full strength that we win the game. I think we won. Was it 10-1 last time they visited the Forum?
It was.
I don't think it'll be that comfortable. Obviously, Zach Brown's left, and they replaced him with equally as good netminder Dan Crow, I believe it is. They brought in from the Steel Dogs. So although he probably hasn't seen a lot of ice time, he's still got that pedigree of playing at a high level. But yeah, as for us, if we're at full strength, if we're fully fit, I think we're going to be a problem for a lot of teams, especially those top three who are all battling it out. They will want to avoid us. But that being said, being full strength, we've also got to put the work rate in and the effort in and make sure we get those results.
Yeah. Anybody? Obviously, you mentioned the goalie change. Anybody else on the whole roster to look out for? Obviously, Rich Hagger's a perennial threat, but they seem to have a bit of depth this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a certain name on a lot of people's lips in Regan Taylor. He may not light it up goals wise, but he'll certainly light it up with his mouth and get under players' skins and do what he can to give his side the advantage. We know there's a lot of needle going back to that 10-1 game with him. So. And I think that's probably what everyone's got their eyes on. I think there's been a few flashpoints with him. So he is certainly a player for fans to be looking out for every time he's on the ice to see what he's doing and what he's up to.
Yeah. I mean, they are just below us in the league. They're 6 points below us in the league, but we've got 2 games in hand. So it is quite tight in the standings towards the kind of that mushy middle, you could say, of the standings. Anybody else on the roster, Carol, you're looking for an eye on from Hull's side?
Aiden Dancer for me is always one to watch out for. Obviously, he jumped ship from Sheffield earlier in the season. If he plays, there's obviously they've got a group of guys who sort of switch between the Jets and the Seahawks. But Bo Reeder's one of those guys, and he's definitely one to watch out for if he travels. I don't think he's played that many games for the Jets though, so I think he's kind of more Seahawks at the minute. But they've got talent up and down the roster, and as Jono's alluded to, they've got players who enjoy getting under people's skin and getting on people's nerves. So it's there's gonna be plenty of incident, I think is probably the phrase to use. Plenty of incident.
And the like ourselves, the development side is quite big. Obviously, Hull have got the team below them and they've got the team above them, so Hull have got the full development pathway, and they're kind of proud of doing that, the same as Billingham.
Very much so.
I mean, they've pretty much had that all the way through their hockey history, haven't they? They've always had that a good system going all the way up to whatever senior team that they had. It's the way to go. It's the model that Sheffield are using probably better than anybody else. Leeds have started on that road. Telford have kind of started on that road this year as well by bringing their teams closer together. And it's just, if you can bring 4 or 5 guys through from your academy, it's going to save you a hell of a lot of money because you're not traipsing the country or even the import market for that kind of talent. Look, I know it's not Hull and it's Leeds. We lost Finn Braden, who has gone up to Leeds now. If he is back in our division, that's import quality talent, and they've got him from just down the road. And that's the purpose of having these academies. And Hull will produce forevermore. They've produced great players over the years, and they will continue to produce. And they've got that. They've got a very successful 19s team who are very good, always competing there or thereabouts every year for top honours, which most of them will be bedded straight into that Division 2 side, Kingston Sharks, I believe it is.
Yeah,
who are always competitive in Division 2. They're not like a basement dweller. They're always kind of like that mid-table area, so they're always getting that competitive hockey. Then 1 or 2 of them will start to stand out, and then they'll hit the Jets, and that's where they'll probably start to learn how fast the game is, the proper physical side of it, and and that's where they'll grow, and then that's when Matty Davies and the Seahawks will take notice and get them up training with them to see where they're at. So it is absolutely invaluable that clubs have these pathways, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, hand on heart, and it's how it goes in Billingham with the Buccaneers. There's a lot of talent there in that under-19s team, and it's good to see that a lot of it is playing Buccaneers. And I just hope that they all have that want and desire to play Billingham Stars one day, or even go even higher after us.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, 100%. So we'll see the Hull Jets on Saturday. So that's your first game of the new year. Saturday, 5:30 at the Forum Ice Arena. And if that wasn't enough, we'll do it all again on Sunday with the visit of the Leeds Knights. Second visit from the Knights this season. We won earlier in the year at the Forum 7-4. So Leeds Knights coming up again. And as Jono says, Carol, it's another one. The development angle is huge for them. Yes, they've got a couple of guys they've brought in specifically for their NIHL North team. But although we've had the upper hand on the games this season and last, they've never been a walk in the park, and we've always had to work hard to get past the Leeds Knights.
Very much so, and I think a lot of that's continued this season, although they are struggling for results. I don't think they've won a game since October, and being brutal, some of those have been pretty heavy defeats, which has surprised me because, as you've just said, usually although they don't always get the results, they have been a very hard-working team. That said, when it has come together a little bit more for them, they have pushed teams very hard. Good teams as well. They've had relatively close results against some of the top teams, but they're not getting the results. And I think themselves and Sheffield looking a little cut adrift at the bottom there. And something has to. I think they're probably very frustrated themselves that they're not getting the points that perhaps some of these performances are deserving. So I'd fully expect us to win on Sunday. But that said, we've already seen this season how a team that works hard can get the rewards. And if Leeds work hard, as we know they can, then it's not a done deal by any stretch. However, Leeds do need something to change because they're not doing great at the minute. And just before Christmas again, they're on the end of another hammering. So they just need something to click for them. Hopefully, it's not on Sunday, but it's going to be an interesting one, but one that I fully expect us to win.
Well, now you said that about their form. I've looked on the NIHL stats. They've lost 11 in a row.
Yeah,
and they're coming into Billingham, and now the nervous person in me's gone, oh no. Yeah. Leeds Knights on Sunday, John. A couple of familiar faces behind the bench as well. Always go to chat with Dave and Munsey, but Leeds Knights on the ice, we have a job to do Sunday as well.
100%. Just like any other team, you cannot take your foot off the gas. You've got to be prepared, you've got to be ready, and you've got to be prepared to work hard against any team in this division, or you will get overturned. Doesn't matter how big their bench is, doesn't matter if they've got big key players missing. If they were working hard, they will cause a lot of problems. So you've got to be concentrating, and you've got to outmatch them. Match them or outmatch them. It's simple as that. I'm just hoping maybe that third period in Whitley Bay kind of puts a spark in the team. Hopefully, for whatever reason, over the years, we have been a team that kind of just turn it on in the new year. And I'm hoping that's again this year. We'll have a battle on our hands Saturday. Maybe that'll get us getting ready for Sunday, so that they are ready and raring to go. But hopefully, I think the main thing for me is we're at full strength. We're at full strength. We can run 3 lines. We can play everybody and not just absolutely hammer the top line or the top 2 line or the top 5 players as such, whichever way Fuzzy goes or runs his lines and his power play units and stuff like that. We just need to be at full strength and utilize every player who turns up and use our max power as such.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. So we'll see. I say Sunday 5:30. So about the usual face-off times. Saturday the Hull Jets, Sunday the Leeds Knights. Hope you can join us at the Forum Ice Arena for your first hockey fix of 2026. There are some games around the NIHL this coming weekend. As Carl said, there's only a couple this past weekend. Blackburn extended the league lead to 20 points. They've played more games than everybody else, but they are well clear. But fixtures for this weekend: Saturday, obviously Billingham Hull, as we said. Sheffield are playing Telford in the late game on Saturday, and then Sunday's schedule: Billingham Leeds, D-side Nottingham, Widnes against Telford, and that is it. I was just starting to read on, but yeah, that's it. Widnes Telford is the last game on Sunday. So a small slate, but the league coming back to some sort of normality in the new year. Any other business before we wrap up for this New Year's Eve that we're on? I've just got one. It just happened recently while we were starting to record. It's not directly linked to NIHL, but Edinburgh Capitals have now sold out their Hogmanay game. 3,000 seats in Murrayfield. Fantastic effort from them to do that. So good luck for them. That's tomorrow. So good luck for them for their Hogmanay. A sellout in Murrayfield. Hopefully we get one in the new year when GB play there as well. That would be nice. Any other business from you, Carol?
Actually, just thinking about that Edinburgh Capitals game, they had over 2,100 in there against Dundee at the weekend.
Just last weekend,
so, they are getting the fans in big time there, which is great to see. You just wonder how long that is destined to be an SNL team.
Yeah, I think I've been reading. I have been reading one or two fan forums, and I think a lot of them are starting to clamour for that higher level. Yeah. Where they go, I don't know.
Yeah, those are great numbers. There's some elite league teams that would be more than happy with those sorts of numbers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Edinburgh are doing some great stuff. There's loads of hockey about at the minute for people if you care to watch. I think Jono mentioned it right at the beginning where World Juniors are on. The Spengler Cup was on. Yeah, it's there's loads of hockey on. Anybody who's got access to the NHL, they go a bit mental with games over the festive break. So there's loads of hockey about. You can drown in hockey if you really wanted to. There's lots to watch. So if you fancy a hockey fix, you shouldn't have too much trouble finding some.
Fantastic. Jono, 2 home games. Are we selling? Do you have a list?
Yes, yeah. Everyone will be there at the Sports Club table, fully loaded and raring to go. Come down, say hello. Give them a pat on the back. They've been doing a great job. It's been super busy over the Christmas games and that as well. Is surprisingly very busy. At the Whitley game, seems a lot of people were still wanting to spend their Christmas pennies between Christmas and New Year, so they had a great time out there. And what I will say is, if there's any ideas that you want from your supporters club, please do get in touch. Whether that's merch ideas, whether it's event ideas, drop me a message. Let's have a conversation and see what we can do in 2026.
Yeah. Has the raffle all been claimed? Has everything been picked up from the raffle? As
far as I'm aware, no one's reached out to say they haven't received anything, and I haven't been told otherwise. So everything's out there, everything's been claimed. If there is an unclaimed prize, or you think you've got a prize and you've not yet claimed it, please reach out and we'll get that sorted as well. But as far as I'm aware, everything is collected. Been done.
Fab. Yeah, now was a fab end to last year as well. The raffle, great job from everybody there. Well, that's it then. From nothing else from me either. Just to say, we'll see you at the weekend at the Foremost Arena. Saturday against the Hull Jets, Sunday against the Leeds Knights. 5:30 face-off on both nights. Thank you for your support throughout 2025. That's to our watchers, to our listeners, to our clippers, to everybody who, however you consume and watch and like and subscribe. You can message us, you can contact us in any way possible. Always nice to receive comments. But from me, thanks to Carol and to Jono for jumping on most weeks and just talking hockey with me. It's been great fun to do it. We look forward to doing it all again in 2026. So we'll just leave it there. Enjoy your new year. Have a very good 2026. Enjoy the celebrations. We'll see you at the forum. But from your STARCAST for now, it's bye-bye and Happy New Year.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.